Chris Abel is here. Merry Christmas, Chris.
Merry Christmas.
You're my most Christmassy friend.
I am. I've got the name for it. That's true.
Well, you are a Chris, like a Kris Kringle Chris.
Yes. So that's
so
it's
special.
A pretty good holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, very so special. All right. Well, toys and all things youthfulness. If I've learned anything from you, Chris, I've learned two particular things. One is be authentic, be yourself. And I think that you embrace that always. It's one of my favorite things about you. And the other part is to live into your youthful side. Play the games, have the toys, collect your favorite things, and live into it all day, every day. That's my biggest takeaway from Chris Abel.
Yes, you don't put away childish things. You evolve and grow and build on top of them. That's how I kind of see the way in which we level up and become adults.
Oh, God, that's good advice. Real Chris Abel, K-R-I-S, that's the Kris Kringle, K-R-I-S-A-B-E-L, realchrisabel.com. And on socials, you can find Chris all over the place as we lead ourselves into Christmas. A lot of people will take taxis and Ubers and all those things in being responsible with their partying. And to get us started, this technology helps, but is not quite there just yet.
Yeah, we had a really bizarre glimpse of what our future world is like this past weekend, when in San Francisco, the city had a massive blackout. So there's a huge fire at one of the power stations. This caused a power failure across the city. More than 100,000 people were affected. But the bizarre thing was that the streets became littered with what looked like abandoned cars. It was like a scene right out of a zombie film. Suddenly you have cars in the middle of intersections, in the middle of the streets. It turned out these were all self-driving robo-taxis. There's a company in San Francisco that operates there called Waymo, where you can order a taxi and it comes and picks you up by itself and then takes you to your destination. Well, the cars became confused by the power failure. What had happened was that these cars are very dependent upon their cameras and their LiDAR systems to be able to monitor the environment. And so when all the traffic lights suddenly went black, all the street lights and signs suddenly went dark, these cars became confused. And so their only response was to suddenly just stop whatever they were doing, put on their 4 hazard lights and go on. And that was it. So for some unlucky passengers, it meant having to get out of the car and find your way home in the middle of a power failure. Thankfully, Waymo said that it was the time of day in which the majority of the cars had already completed their transactions. A lot of them were abandoned. There wasn't people that were trapped too much on the streets. But in terms of a power failure happening that was already causing congestion in the city, having this litany of all these little abandoned cars suddenly appear on the streets, that really didn't help. And so the city now has to make plans in the future of how they're going to handle these kinds of scenarios as we get more and more of these self-driving cars on the streets.
Nobody would have thought of that one, I don't think, no matter how hard you brainstormed about if power goes out elsewhere, what do our cars do?
Google said they had sort of had a plan and that they had programmed the cars that should the traffic lights at an intersection go out, then the car was programmed to treat it like a 4-way stop. The problem was they didn't program the cars in terms of when the cars would never find another traffic light. It just kept roaming around, and when it couldn't find any traffic lights, it just shut down. And so now that's something that Waymo and Google have to kind of work out. Okay, how do we program these cars to decide what do they do in this kind of a situation?
Like seeing one, it's like, oh, there's no one in that car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No one driving, no one behind the wheel.
Yeah, but like no one controlling it. It's not even like a drone of somebody sitting in a little pod somewhere. Like you'd see like military drone machines and stuff. Like it's kind of a wild experience. Cool stuff where we're going. Chris Abel is here, Shane Hewitt, and the Night Shift as we lead our way up to Christmas. Do you have a Christmas story for us, Chris?
I do. So there is a band in the United Kingdom called Bionic and the Wires. And their specialty is they put on concerts where the musicians are plants, living plants. Think of your household plants. And what they've done is they've added electronics to these plants so that it can monitor the bioelectrical signals that all living things generate and put off. And then they take those signals and they convert that into music. And often at their concerts, the result is that you have this kind of ethereal, trance-like music. There are lots of people who like that kind of a concert, that kind of a music. But for Christmas, they thought it would be fun to take a Christmas tree and connect its electronics up to it to get those biosignals and then send that to a keyboard that's been programmed to play the song Jingle Bells and other Christmas songs. Now, we're going to play a bit of a clip of it, and it's going to sound broken. That's because although the tree isn't picking which tune to play, it's been programmed into the keyboard to play Jingle Bells, the tree's bioelectrical sensors are determining the speed and the rate in which the notes are kind of played. So you do get this wonky version of Jingle Bells as played by a Christmas tree. Check it out.
That's cool. So like the tree doesn't know it's Jingle Bells, right? It just,
No.
It's putting out the pulses, and then the pulses as they come, that's how it goes into the song?
That's right. So the keyboard is merely waiting for a signal from the tree, and then it plays the next note in sequence for Jingle Bells. Obviously, it would be up to, if you had a human player at the keyboard, the player would determine the speed and the rate by which the song does. We know what Jingle Bells is supposed to sound like. But to a tree, it's just, a connection. Hey, let's send out a signal.
I think that's really cool. Do you ever, it would be cool to test and take a tree and put it in a room and plug it into the same sort of system like this and play music for the tree, or have people speaking and saying nice words or mean words or whatever. And then in another room, have the electrical pulses that are on the xylophone and hear what that sounds like as it reacts to the music. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Very much so. I mean, there's lots of studies that go on where they try to determine, are the plants responding to what kind of things happening in the room? You know, it's often said that it's healthy for plants if you talk to your plants, or if you play music for your plants. And so, yes, people are trying to determine if there is that kind of relationship happening. We certainly do know that plants do talk to each other, that the root systems below in the soil are communicating with each other, and there is a plant network that's happening in the interwebs down below the soil. We think we invented the internet. No, the plants were ahead of us a long time ago before that.
That's very good stuff. Sugar plums for Christmas. Why do we have sugar plums here for this?
Go to some more Christmas music, but Gibson, the guitar company, they have an app that's available for iPhone and for Android that you can download that will teach you how to play guitar, both acoustic and electrical guitar. They have a little interactive session that you can play videos with famous musicians, but also you simply take your device, whether it be your tablet or your phone, you place it in front, and it listens to you as you play your guitar. And so it can take you through a bunch of famous songs and then give you feedback on how well you're playing. So for Christmas, Gibson's released 8 Christmas songs that you can actually use the app to learn how to play. You have a bunch of them. I thought we'd play Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, here being played by a bunch of cool guitarists.
I wish I could play guitar like that. That's cool.
Other songs include Silent Night, Carol of the Bells, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Oddly, no Jingle Bells.
Maybe that's a good thing.
So the app costs a subscription fee of $30 a month, but they do offer a free 1 week free trial. So perfect timing for Christmas. If you maybe have a guitar and you want to learn a Christmas song, or you get a guitar for Christmas, you can sign up, get your free trial, and learn how to play, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies.
RealChrisAble.com and on the socials. Merry Christmas, Chris.
Merry Christmas.